The situation on a New Mexico highway escalated quickly. A mother pulled over by state troopers for speeding while driving a minivan full of kids. And then real-time decisions as the nightmare on both sides came to a climax with gunfire. You're about to meet the man who lost his job in the face-off and find out why he wants the world to know what he says is the full story. Here's ABC's Ryan Owens.
Get out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle right now.
It's the traffic stop that outraged so many for so many reasons.
Get out of the vehicle right now.
A mom stopped for speeding in her minivan with 5 children inside keeps taking off on police. One of those children, her 14-year-old son, even scuffles with an officer.
Open the door!
Later, that same officer bashes in the passenger window. As the minivan takes off again, one of the backup officers fires 3 shots at that minivan packed with kids between the ages of 6 and 16. So this is you here?
Yes.
Those shots cost Elias Montoya his job with the New Mexico State Police. The 12-year veteran of the force says he pulled up on the traffic stop long after it escalated and says he had no idea there were children inside that minivan with dark tinted windows.
When you found out that there were in fact children in that minivan, what did you think?
Well, my heart sank when they finally stopped, and I was on the passenger side at that time, seeing them get out at gunpoint again. I couldn't believe that there was that many children in there.
At that point, did you second guess your decision?
No, I didn't second guess my decision because I did what I thought was correct at that time.
Montoya, himself a father of 3, says all dispatch told him was to respond to an unruly driver on a highway near Taos, New Mexico. As
I'm approaching the van on the left-hand side, all I see is silhouettes of heads, a bunch of silhouettes of heads. And what went through my mind was that we're outnumbered.
When the driver started to flee yet again, the 53-year-old says he lined up with that white line on the road and shot at the left rear tire.
I know you say that you were aiming at the tire, but that tire is connected to a vehicle that has an awful lot of people in it. Why would you fire at a vehicle that you know has a lot of people in it?
I'm not shooting at a human being. I'm shooting at a tire.
He missed the tire, and that mom and 5 kids were off again, this time leading cops on a chase that reached speeds of 100 miles an hour. When it finally ended, officers arrested the driver, 39-year-old Oriana Farrell of Tennessee, and charged her with child abuse and fleeing police. She's pleaded not guilty and says she did what she did that October day to protect her children.
Canadian bacon, American blue cheese.
She's a self-described empowerment coach who gives parenting advice and a recording artist who uploads her music videos to YouTube.
NASA's got the whole world sick, picking at the Jackson wounds and rubbing in the Michael Vicks.
What does it feel like to be back at the spot?
Today, we return to the scene of that routine traffic stop that turned out to be anything but. Montoya was the only one of the 3 officers fired for his actions that day. The other 2, including the officer who broke the window, are back on the street. Here in Taos, many believe he should be back with them.
I believe in him. I think he's really an honest, most caring person.
They describe a veteran officer who was never aggressive, certainly never trigger happy. Remember, this was the first time he fired in the line of duty.
I'm on this walk because I believe injustice has been done to one of our fellow officers, a good man.
Here, the man known nationally as the cop who shot at a minivan full of kids is better known as a youth referee.
It's unfathomable that he lost his job as a result of this, especially in light of the fact that there have been other instances very recently where similar conduct was justified for a lot less culpability from the offender.
But none of it was enough to convince New Mexico's governor.
The use of deadly force has to be used only when you are being threatened by deadly force.
Right there. That's his discharge. This was a horrible car stop by all participants.
Nicholas Cassell is a former detective with the New York City Police Department.
Where's the danger? Where's the danger? Who in that car presents a danger to him?
He says Montoya had no business trying to shoot out that tire.
Him shooting the tire of a vehicle moving away from him, the tire in the rear is exposed about the size of a dollar bill. If he has the ability to shoot that tire, he should be on the Olympic team. I know it's New Mexico, but I don't think that officer was Wyatt Earp.
When I moved over, I could see well in front of me. There was no vehicles in front of that vehicle, either going or coming. So I believed I had the right to try and detain that situation there. And that's how come I shot at the tire.
Montoya is appealing his termination, but knows getting his badge and especially getting his gun back, that's an uphill battle.
Can the public trust your judgment after you fired on a minivan with kids in it?
I'm sure they will, because they know me. They know what I'm about. I'm not one to take my handgun off my holster on every little situation.
Do you want to live in a world where police officers are firing routinely at vehicles with people in them when they've been pulled over for speeding? Does that world make sense to you?
No, it does not make sense. No, and if I knew that there was even one child in that vehicle, I wouldn't have done it.
I'm Ryan Owens for Nightline in Taos, New Mexico.
Our thanks to Ryan Owens for that.